In the wake of Babel, the world fell silent. The great dream of a unified human empire lay buried beneath the sand, shattered into 1,000 competing voices, divided by language, walled off by borders, and paralyzed by mutual suspicion. Humanity had tried to storm heaven on a staircase of mud, and instead, they inherited an earth of fractured tribes. For centuries, history moves with a wide lens, tracking empires, counting generations, recording the rise and fall of civilizations. But then, the cosmic scope drops entirely. The camera pans away from the palaces of kings and the ruins of ziggurats. It zooms past the crowds, out into the quiet periphery of the world, and stops in front of a single, ordinary tent. To fix a broken world, the divine strategy would not look like another global flood or a display of apocalyptic fire. It would look like an invitation whispered into the ear of a single, childless nomad. His name was Abram, and if you looked at him through the lens of ancient Bronze Age standards, he was a man standing on the edge of existential irrelevance. He was 75 years old. He lived in the shadow of Uar and Haran, metropolises deeply devoted to the moon god, Nana. Abram was a man embedded in a pagan world, comfortable, wealthy in livestock, but fundamentally dead in the water. Because tucked into the genealogical record of Genesis is a line that carries the weight of a death sentence. Now Sarai was childless because she was not able to conceive. In the ancient Near East, a barren womb was not just a biological heartbreak, it was an economic and spiritual catastrophe. It meant your name would vanish from the earth. It meant your family tree ended with you. Abram had gold, he had tents, he had cattle, but his line was a dead end. He had absolutely nothing to offer the future. Then, out of the silence of the desert, comes a voice. Not the thunderous roar that cracked the sky at the flood, but a direct, piercing mandate that shatters Abram's reality. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. We read these words through centuries of religious familiarity, but to Abram, this was the ultimate demand. In the ancient world, your identity was not internal, it was geographic and tribal. Your country was your legal protection. Your people were your army. Your father's household was your economic insurance policy. To walk away from them meant forfeiting your inheritance, abandoning your safety, and risking immediate death as a defenseless foreigner on lawless roads. God doesn't ask Abram for his intellectual agreement. He doesn't give him a theological lecture. He demands his entire survival mechanism. He asks him to trade the security of what he can see for the sheer vulnerability of a voice he has just met. But with that massive demand comes a covenant, a threefold promise that systematically tears down every single sin committed at the Tower of Babel. At Babel, humanity said, "Let us build a city so we won't be scattered." God tells Abram, "Go, move, walk out into the unknown." Real security would no longer be found in self-built fortresses, but in divinely led movement. At Babel, humanity screamed, "Let us make a name for ourselves." God turns to this childless, nameless nomad and whispers, "I will make your name great." True, lasting legacy is never stolen through human arrogance. It is granted through divine grace. And finally, where Babel resulted in nations fragmenting into hostility and confusion, God declares the ultimate purpose of Abram's isolation, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Do you see the architectural symmetry of the narrative? God chooses one man, separates him from the world, and strips him of his security, not to hoard the blessing, but to turn him into a conduit that will one day heal the very nations that fractured at Babel. The covenant with Abram is the blueprint for the rescue of humanity. And so, the old man moves. Genesis doesn't record a single word of protest from Abram. He doesn't ask for a map. He doesn't demand an itinerary or a destination name. He simply rolls up his tents, gathers his barren wife, and turns his back on the fertile, predictable banks of the Euphrates River to face the harsh wilderness of Canaan. This is the birth of true biblical faith. It is not a passive belief in a set of abstract facts. It is a radical, physical alignment of one's life with a promise. Abram stepped out into total obscurity, completely blind to the future, because he trusted the character of the one who called him out of the dark. The tower of human pride had fallen. The journey of faith had just begun.
Like and subscribe for next historical.